Welcome back to another episode of the Boom Boom Room with Josh and Ben, otherwise known as CampingGearTV.com. I am Josh.
I am Ben.
And once again, Gary is here.
Yep.
And today, we're talking about tents, yo.
We're looking at a tent from a company you may not have heard of before. You know, is this that popular of a brand, would you say?
I wouldn't say it's a popular brand.
But
you don't find it at Walmart, but people that are in the know and that are serious about outdoor gear know that this is a serious tent brand.
Well respected.
Yes.
Would be a good term to use. We are looking at the Kaitum, or it could be Kaitum. Again, tough to say on their pronunciation. Kaitum.
Yes.
GT from Hilleberg, the tent maker.
Yeah.
Let me just go through, before we even get into anything, the list of awards this tent has gotten.
Okay, sounds nice.
Or won.
Let's do that.
Okay, best all-around tent from
Rolling Stone magazine.
Rolling Stone magazine. Is that 2GT?
I don't know.
Yeah. Group test of Germany's outdoor magazine called the Kaitum a test winner. Let's
Good
see
for
here.
them.
Gear of the Year awards from Germany's Outdoor Magazine in 06, 07, and 09.
All right.
Editor's Choice Award.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
Product of the Year Award from
Awesome.
Sweden's magazine.
Nice.
And the Dutch outdoor magazine OP Pad
OP Pad. Yeah, you know me.
named it a test winner, commenting a well thought out tent and attention to detail,
Yeah.
low weight, high standard of construction. So as you can see here, this brand is really a global brand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, people are using it all over.
Yeah, I think they're made in Germany or something.
Yeah.
What, do you know?
No, not specifically.
All right, somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, I think it is Germany.
Okay.
I believe it is.
Might be Finland.
Could be. Might be Walla Walla, Kentucky, though.
Right.
It's tough to say.
It is tough.
We'll have to look into it.
No one knows.
All their tents, I believe, come in green and red. The one we got,
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure every single one they do is green or red.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. The one we looked at was a green one,
Mhm.
the Kaitum GT.
Yes, it was.
We looked at the Kaitum 2.
Yeah.
Okay, now, as you can see from some pictures that I have on here, this tent is a little bit different design than I say the standard design. This is more of
Yeah.
a tunnel design tent.
Right.
Some cool things about that, though. First of all, I don't even know where to begin. I will say that every single aspect of this tent I was pleasantly surprised with.
Right.
Okay? The first thing on tents I'm always curious about is, what is the interior room like?
Yeah.
This is a two-person tent. I swear to you, you could sleep 3 people in this
Yeah.
thing.
It's
okay?
massive.
I wouldn't say you would do it easily,
Right.
but you should. If you needed to sleep 3 people in this tent, you could definitely do it. There's that much room.
Right.
So as you can see from the tunnel design, there's 2 vestibules in the front and the back, which is also really cool. If you're taking this tent out for like a week-long trip, or
Yeah.
especially if you're base camping, you're gonna have a great place for gear storage on
Yeah.
either end,
Yeah.
which is definitely really, really cool. And there's 2 door openings,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so that you can turn the tent, no matter which way you have the tent turned, you can
Yeah.
always enter on a non-wind blowing side, so that wind is not catching your vestibule and just like taking your tent with you.
Right.
So that's also really, really solid.
Yep.
The inner tent height is 40 inches high, and it's 31 square feet
Yeah.
as far as, you know, the tent footprint area is concerned.
Right.
The vestibule areas are, let's see here, 25 feet and 13 feet. And another great thing about this tent is you can post this tent with 4 pegs, okay? But there's guy lines all over the place if you just, you know, if you're on top of mountains, if you're in windy areas and you need more stability,
Yeah.
you can do that. The pegs that they have are kind of standardish pegs, I would say. Let me bring one of these out. We're all familiar with that kind
Right.
of design.
DAC.
But I will say that, I mean, they came with plenty of tent pegs.
Which I love.
Right. I mean, so many times we're getting tents from
Yeah.
manufacturers and PR companies, and we're supposed to have a certain number of tent pegs, and we get nowhere
Right.
near that amount of tent
Yeah.
pegs.
It's really
and,
common.
And this time they provided not only enough, but
Yeah.
more than enough.
So many that Ben and one of our other friends slept in this tent when we were out last. I had a little one-man Wenzel that I was in, and I didn't have enough pegs because I've lost them over the years. And Ben had so many that he could let me borrow one and didn't even know it was missing.
Right. It was a fantastic situation, to say the least.
No doubt about that.
So, I mean, boy, lots of great info to go over. Where to start?
Where do you start?
Okay.
There's so much to go over.
All right, so this tent, it's 6 pounds 4 ounces. For a 2-man tent, people might think, well, that's a little weighty. Okay, especially for a backpacking tent, which we did use this for. We were backpacking with it, and I can compress this actually if I take care in packing it. I can
Right.
compress this way down to a smaller,
Right.
smaller
Well,
size.
it's like a 3.5 season tent, though.
Yeah, right. That's the first thing, and well, it's actually a 4-season tent.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean,
But
you can't compare
The-
apples to
True.
bananas.
But the room to weight ratio is also another key factor to take a
There you
look
go.
at. This tent is huge, and not huge like unnecessarily huge,
Yeah.
huge like comfortable huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 men can easily sleep in it, or 2 people, and then you have plenty of places for gear storage because of the 2 vestibules.
Yeah.
And I actually like the tunnel design a lot,
Mhm.
and it gives you the sense that you actually have a place to stay and you're not cramped. So I think this is a really, really good tent when you're kind of covering a large amount of ground, and you got 2 people with you, and you're going to be out for a while, and you have a lot of gear with you that you might possibly be spreading out all over the place.
Yeah.
And it gives you a lot of options as far as places to hunker down and chill for a little bit because of the vestibules if you're encountering some nasty weather too.
Yeah.
So, and the floor has, speaking of nasty weather, the floor actually has a decently high tub
Yeah, a little tub.
to it, so that no water is going to get in. The overall construction of the tent is just really, really great.
Yeah.
And definitely it should be because of the price of the tent. I think the MSRP is $860.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I
High
mean,
end.
it's high end for sure, but you're definitely going to get your money's worth. I think the tent
Yeah.
outperforms a lot of other tents as far as construction and capabilities go. Really, the big thing with this tent, in my mind, is weight to space ratio.
Well, it's a 4-season tent.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
That
for a 4-season tent,
you can
that
dress.
can fit 3 people and weighs 6 pounds. It's not going to be.
And see, you can cut
Low
down the
price.
weight, and if you're taking it out as a summer tent where you're not gonna
Yeah.
have any problems, you see the whole fly vestibule, that whole area, you can strip down and just take the tent itself into a stripped down version,
Right.
taking out some of the weight, which is also very, very good.
Yeah.
So let's see here. It has ultra white Curlon 1200 outer tent fabric, and it's one of the strongest ultra lightweight tent fabrics available. Hilleberg has really went all out there trying to make sure they give a quality design there. Some of the other things to talk about, we said the dual entrances and vestibules. 2 vestibules, and then there's 2 entrances, high bathtub floor. There's adjustable vents on either side, which is nice,
Mm-hmm.
and there's snow-proof panels. You can get to these panels from the inside or the outside,
Mhm.
so that's really, really good.
Yep.
And the 2 vestibules, like we said, they're not the same size. The main vestibule is maybe twice the size, and 25 and 13 feet, so almost twice the size. You can put a lot of different gear in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And there is one other thing I think that I wanted to say. I think I got it. Yeah,
Nice.
because I said pitching only requires 4 pegs. We talked about that, but there's tons of extra guy lines. I think up to 22 different points that you can tie the tent down.
Okay.
So if you're in some really nasty weather, especially wind, I guess the big thing in tents, when the larger you get, because we are talking about a tent that has some space,
Right.
the larger a tent is, if there's wind, it's a bigger size tent to catch that wind, and you're going to want to have some protection there.
Right.
There's
True
definitely a lot of points where you can tie this thing down.
that. For sure.
These tents come with some pretty detailed information as far as pitching the tent and information. Their website is chock full
Yeah.
of information, and they come with some little guides and some pamphlets that actually have some good stuff in there as
Yeah.
far as pitching a tent is concerned and things like that.
Nice.
There's no the tent poles, the sleeves for them, they're not broken up, they're continuous, which I always think is a huge deal. I don't like sleeves that the pole can peek out through, and then you have difficulty putting it through.
Right.
And they're also color coordinated
Right.
for 2 of the poles in the middle.
Yeah. Nice feature.
So that's really, really good.
Yeah.
So Hilleberg really a premier,
Mhm.
high-end tent maker, but very well regarded online. If you do some research and see, I mean, I would think a lot of people who go on some serious expeditions, this is one of the main brands that they're going to. And, again, the weight to space ratio is, I think, the main part of it. If you have the ability to carry, to pack a little bit extra weight, I would go to this tent because of the space that I get with it. But I'm not really packing all that much more weight. If it was something where it's like I'm packing 14 pounds, well, that's just impossible. But packing an extra 2 pounds, then you end up getting in a doable range where, you're going to have some comfort out there. And, it's a really, really good tent. So definitely go check them out. They have some other tents too, and some, what I find really great in their brand, they have some great one-man tents. They're very, very light and some unique designs too that are definitely worth checking out, which I'd love to get my hands on, if you will. We had a great one-man backpacking tent a little while ago, and we had to get rid of it in a giveaway.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
So maybe somebody will send us a Hilleberg one-man backpacking tent for Christmas.
Maybe.
We'll see what happens. It's around the corner. So until then, or until next time, keep checking out videos of all our gear reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Keep up with Gary, Twitter, Facebook, that sort of thing. He's Josh. Gary's buried. I'm Ben. We are CampingGearTV.com.